right. Recording's in progress. Screen is being shared. All right, slideshow. And okay. You are going to die. You listening to this right now, right here, are going to die.
And if that isn't enough to cause you to spiral down a never-ending abyss of existential chaos, everyone you love is going to die.
Our lives are on a timer.
This is inevitable.
Death is inevitable.
And as humans, it is our instinct to fear death.
And who could blame us? It's what humanity fears the most.
The unknown.
The uncontrollable.
And yet, it's the greatest form of control.
We are here, alive, each and every day, and ultimately, we are driven by this instinctual urge to stay alive, to survive.
And for this very reason, death and the fear we associate with it has proven to be the greatest method of control.
As early as the 18th century BC, death has been used as a form of punishment in order to maintain a sense of morality among civilizations. Hammurabi's Code, according to the Avalon Project by Yale Law School, was a series of laws instituted by Prince Hammurabi of Babylon, set as a foundation for justice for his kingdom.
This historical trend of capital punishment, or the death penalty, lived on in the Greek and Roman empires through the Athenian constitution and the Roman law of 12 tables.
Methods of execution evolved as well, becoming more and more elaborate. Romanian crucifixions and burnings have become symbolic of what ancient capital punishment looked like.
Later, the guillotine, well known for its use in the French Revolution, seemed to romanticize capital punishment. French commoners revolted against the aristocracy, using the guillotine as a method of retaliation, writing into place their Declaration of Rights and giving authority to the lower class.
However, the spirit of revolution did not put an end to the practice of capital punishment. In fact, following the American Revolutionary War, new, more effective methods of execution began to arise. From the firing squad to lethal injection, capital punishment has become optimized in the modern age.
Death has never been so efficient, and yet capital punishment remains a flawed system that has been subject to moral debate in America for over a century, according to the Journal of Criminal Law and Criminology. Which leads us to the question, is capital punishment a necessary form of control, or does it fail to represent what it's good for? A moral obligation to protect the safety of the people.
The purpose of capital punishment is to maintain order in society, as death forms as a deterrent towards criminal activity. According to the Santa Clara University, the death penalty acts as a balance for good and evil, ensuring the safety and welfare of citizens and victims.
Although there are benefits to the system, it continues to be plagued with one fatal flaw: systemic inaccuracy.
Capital sentencing has a clear racial past. According to the ACLU, approximately 35% of those executed since 1976 have been Black, even though Blacks constituted for only 12% of the population. The odds of receiving a death sentence are nearly 4 times higher if the defendant is Black than if he or she is white.
Gender and economics also plays a role in capital sentencing. According to JSTOR Digital Library, women murderers are less likely to be sentenced to death than male murderers.
In addition, the death penalty is a violation of basic human right to life. Without a completely unbiased justice system, which is completely unachievable in our naturally biased society, the death penalty remains an uncertain violation of life.
Furthermore, a study by the National Academy of Sciences reported that at least 4.1% of defendants sentenced to death in the United States are innocent. The article reveals that the number of innocent people is likely more than double the number of those actually exonerated and freed from death row.
Looking at these statistics, we can clearly see that there are imperfections within the system. Although 4% may seem like an insignificant number when speaking of something to the magnitude of life and death, it becomes far more crucial.
Picture this. A person stands in front of you. There's a bag covering the person's face. with neutral clothing. There's no way to identify who this person is. If I hand you a gun and tell you the person has a 96% chance to be Adolf Hitler and a 4% chance to be your own mother, would you shoot the gun?
For something as drastic as life is death, we shouldn't be willing to accept this magnitude of error.
If we cannot consistently and confidently decide capital punishment, do we really have the right to decide at all? Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah. Oh no, Julia, did you see me fumbling with this?
I tried so hard. What happened?